Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Octopath Traveler with Alfyn, the apothecary, and this is probably going to be our last stream with him because we are taking on his final boss today. The finicky Ogre Eagle that has given me so much grief, mostly off screen, as I have attempted time and time again to defeat it. But I had my first successful attempt off stream yesterday, and I think I know how we're going to do this. So, to go over my build really quickly before we get started, we have Rune Lord is the job we'll be using, which is what we got last stream. I've actually gone ahead and completely filled out Rune Lord, including the Divine Skill, which is like deal damage from each of the 6 elements to a single foe, which is really strong as far as like a physical, not physical, it's an elemental move, but it's damage, which is great. It is 50 SP, which is pretty crazy, but you know, what do you do? In addition to that, we got some support skills for Rune Lord, which I'll just go over what they are in general. The first 3 are interesting, but not really what we're looking for. Stat swap, elemental and physical attack strength will be swapped with one another. So this might actually be useful for when we get into super physical characters like the warrior or the huntress. And just because they are like if we ever need to do elemental damage with them, this might be useful for that reason. So just a cool little thing, I thought. SP recovery is good, but we're not going to be worrying about that much. Dauntless, gain increased physical and elemental attack when suffering from a status ailment. I thought about using this, but the problem is, like, we would either have to be poisoned or blinded, or I guess terror for it to do anything, because, like, any of the other ones sort of nullify anything that we could do. And not to mention, I'm basically going to be using Rehabilitate constantly as Alphin, so we're not going to have any status ailments, ideally, regardless, just so we don't accidentally fall asleep or get unconscious or something, or confused, whatever it is. So yeah, this is a good one, but I don't think we're going to use it. I don't know how good it is for a solo run, but normally it's great. Elemental Edge, though, gain augmented elemental attack and defense in battle. This is really good, because it just basically, it's like equipping like a magical strength buff, like activating it, but it's permanent through the entire game. Like, you always have that buff up. So really good for that reason. Anyway, so those are all the ones I equipped. This one, that's the only one that I equipped other than normal. This one we've been using from Sorcerer Persistence. I'm using instead of something else to give the buffs we get from both Rehabilitate and Rune Lord an additional turn, which is great. And then Saving Grace as always. Although, this is going to be not as useful this battle than like any other battle, just because of the way that the gimmick works. So, anyway, with all that being said, the only other real thing that happened was I found this Tempest Amulet in one of the optional dungeons just while I was looking around for stuff to help. Basically, since the only magic that this eagle can do to us is wind magic, this is extremely useful for preventing damage from that attack specifically. So, yeah, we got that. And then we have Protective Bracelet as normal, and then just a bunch of physical defense boosters. I got this Gargantuan Shield, which is slightly better than the shield we had before. And physical defense, I should mention. The other one had sort of a good balance of both. But yeah, other than that, everything else is the same. And we are ready to take on this boss. So, there is something that's sort of like the way that this boss works. A lot of the strategies that we've had for defeating bosses so far solo have been long tactics. So like for Cyrus's final boss, we literally waited a bunch of turns with poison damage to live it, and we just tried. It was like a survival game, right? Ophelia was sort of the same way, except instead of survival, it was just waiting for Matthias to damage himself. This final boss is difficult for a different reason, and I'll get to that when we get to it. It starts off normal, but you'll see what I mean. Anyway, First thing we're gonna do is rehabilitate because we kind of got lucky. Since basically any attack it does can give us a status ailment, like certain ones. Also, yeah, notice how little damage I'm taking from wind now. Like, it's negligible, so that's fantastic. What was I saying? Yeah, so we kind of got lucky because if we had fallen asleep or something there, it might have been worth just, like, trying it over and resetting. Just because it's, like, sort of a toss-up whether you get a debuff or, like, a status ailment. I'm going to go ahead and use Ice Rune since that's what that middle weakness is. We've seen that in previous attempts. And then we're just sort of going to take some hits now. Interestingly, so normally how spells work is they do damage based on just like the elemental attack stat of whatever your highest weapon is. But I think with Rune Lord specifically, since it's always tied to a physical attack, it uses the elemental attack stat of whichever weapon specifically, instead of just whatever your strongest weapon is. So we're going to be wanting to use our axe pretty much all the time, even though when we do unlock like the first weakness spot on the Ogre Eagle is a sword, and we do have one as Rune Lord, but like we still always want to use axes. Hello! Sorry you're trapped in Arkansas, but I'm glad that you could swing by and say hello. We haven't really done anything yet. I've taken some damage, so that's cool. Oh, actually, what I do need to do, even though I just activated the Ice Rune, I need to heal because I have to take 3 attacks, and my physical defense is lowered. So yeah, I love the Tempest Amulet is like a game changer because we take anytime it uses one of its 2 wind attacks on us, we just take like no damage. It's like a complete counter to that, which is awesome. So, all right, we have the Ice Rune active, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that. And right off the bat, you can see just how strong that is because that was unboosted. That was like literally nothing. I mean, it was a weakness, but that doesn't do more damage. It just sort of supports, or rather, gets us closer to breaking it. So anyway, but at the start of this battle, we basically want to what am I trying to say? Our goal is to not get any status ailments, so I'm going to be using Rehabilitate way more often than not. And luckily, since a lot of its moves don't actually do damage right now, we can stay in high HP for longer, which gives us opportunities to do more rune stuff. So yeah, so that'll give us 4 turns. And what I actually want to do, I think, is get the eagle down to 1 shield point, because there's going to be a point where we want to break it as quickly as possible. And when that does happen, we need to just sort of be ready to do that. Yeah, I hope so too. Car trouble is always finicky when you don't know what it is. So, all right, give it 1 hit there.
What's the big idea?
Okay, and what I'm actually going to do here, this is going to seem counterproductive, but I want to be doing strong damage with my runes, but I don't actually want to break it. So I'm going to use a different rune, specifically just fire, just because it's not weak to it, so that I can do the damage without, and keep it at 1 HP, so that when we do need to break it, we have easy access to do that. So, all right, let's go ahead and use this. We do need to watch the Rehabilitate stat.
Here goes nothing.
Yeah, I can get 1 more in. The runes are so good for damage like this.
Here goes nothing.
I'm actually gonna do this another time, just because I move first next turn anyway.
Here we go.
So I can now fully boost Rehabilitate, which will give me a total of 9 since I have that 1 thing up. Okay, we're good to heal again.
Here goes nothing.
Still have 3 turns for the fire, well, I guess 2, once we get to our next turn. Okay, and we're doing a lot of damage, actually. So we want to keep... What I'm doing is I'm keeping an eye on the name color. Because we want to get as... Like, basically, we want to see as soon as it gets to 50% health, which is when its name will turn yellow. And as soon as that happens, we need to break it. Because if we... Like, when it gets to 50% health, is when it pulls its super move out of its belt. And the most damage you can do to it before that happens, like, the bigger of a difference we'll make as far as if we win this battle or not. Oh, shoot, I missed it. Okay, so you might have noticed what just happened there. A toxic cloud filled the air, and suddenly I don't have my max health anymore. This toxic cloud lowers your max health points. Not just your whatever you currently have. It's not like poison. It lowers your max health every turn. So the longer we stay in this battle, the less likely we are to win. In addition to this, you might notice that our... Yes, by the way, I'm doing 6k, not even just as a normal attack, as an after attack, like a passive damage from the runes. They're really strong. But yeah, this Toxic Cloud not only makes your max HP go down, but if you're above your max HP with Saving Grace, it kicks it down to your max. Constantly. So basically, we have a hard counter to Saving Grace now for the rest of the fight. And we have to get through half of its health now. Which is why I wanted it to be close to being broken. So what I'm actually going to do, this is actually good because I go twice in a row. I'm going, no, not Concoct. I'm going to do the Ice Rune now.
Ice.
So I can get back to breaking it. And our max HP is still going down.
Here we go.
Okay, now I do one hit, and we'll do massive damage. And now I'm gonna fully boost and use the Rune Lord, which is actually, this is great because I just barely have enough SP to use this. So this does a lot of damage. 2,700 damage, I think, is what it comes down to, which is like insane.
Bring it on.
Okay, I need to do something here. I need to heal my SP because I have that now. Basically, our next thing that we need to get to happen is break it again, because we do double damage when it's broken.
Bring it on.
Shoot. See, here's the problem, right? I only have one turn left. But I only have one turn left on my Rehabilitate, but I also am not super high in HP. I'm gonna do this.
I got just what you need.
I hope that's not dumb. I have to live this. I have to hope that it uses wind moves.
What's the big idea?
I don't have to worry about having lower defense, though, which is good.
What's the big idea?
No! Dang it, okay. That sucks. Luckily, like, I was explaining a lot of how the fight is probably gonna work, but the good news about having to end fast is that attempts also end fast. So, it's alright if it takes a couple of tries.
This should be fun.
It's not like Cyrus's fight against Lucia where we have to patiently wait for like an hour.
Shucks.
Okay, so this is actually fine. I'm gonna Rehabilitate. That'll get rid of the poison too. Okay.
All right.
Gonna actually heal first this time. I didn't do that last time. Yeah, that Tempest Amulet is very strong. I think having that debuff we just got, the lowered physical defense, is the worst possible debuff we can ever get during this fight. The problem is, since we're the only one that can get targeted by it, we basically have to just deal with having most of the debuffs all the time. Let's go ahead, and I'm actually going to use this again.
I got just what you need.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. 3 hits, we have 8,000 health. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna double boost ice. for 5 turns, 6 turns actually, since we have or what is it, persistence on, I think, or patience? What is it called? I don't remember.
Nothing.
Yeah. Get it back down to, Misses have gotten unlucky with the timing, because ideally if you can get it to
What's the big
medium,
idea?
as soon as it gets to yellow health is when it can use that Toxic Cloud move. But if we can break it before it uses it, then we can get one of those huge turns, like huge damage moves off before it ever even, before we have to deal with the lack of max health. So it's sort of luck dependent based on turn order, which kind of sucks. But could be worse, I suppose. Alright. You good, Alfyn?
Bring it on.
Okay, it's actually good. We'll get it down to 1 health.
Here we go.
And I go first, next. Let's do this.
Just what you need.
Alright. Okay. And now I will heal. So yeah, this is sort of the reason why I was sort of up in the air about whether or not we should even bother with Saving Grace. And because like if there was some benefit we could get out of using a different skill, since it only helps us with the first half of the battle anyway, it might be worth it. And I still think that there might be something to that, but it's really helpful in getting the first half consistent. So yeah, we're sort of lucky. So with the I think it's called Elemental Aid, whatever it is, but the Rune Lord skill, we always have a magic up buff and a magic defense buff up, like, all the time. So, it's pretty strong against magical-based enemies, too. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and use Fire Rune here. Yeah, get 8. And now we just sort of go ham. I have to hope that we get a bit more luck this time with when it decides to use moves. I think the best debuff we can get from it is if it lowers our magical defense, since we already take no damage from magic. Like, taking 14 damage from magic instead of 11 is, like, negligible.
Alright.
Alright. We can still keep attacking. Okay.
Here we go.
So it's health. That's still not half health, so... Six turns, 7. Yeah, that's perfect.
I got just what you need.
Alright.
What's the big idea? Bring it on. Here goes nothing.
We won't get as long of an opportunity to have over max health again, so we might as well do it while we can. Okay.
Alright.
So this is gonna sound weird, but I'm actually gonna take this turn now to reheal my SP. And here's my reasoning for that.
What's the big idea? What's that? Alright.
Okay. I have a feeling that this next attack is going to push it below max HP, or 50% HP. So what I'm going to do is hit it here, do that much damage, right?
Here we go.
And now I'm going to... I don't have a rune up, which kind of sucks, or I don't... Let's see. Well, it still doesn't have max.
Ice.
I should have boosted that a little bit.
Bring it on.
I'm gonna go ahead and boost this.
I got just what you need.
Okay. Might seem like I'm not like doing anything. I'm trying to think of an opportune moment to
Here goes
break
nothing.
it, basically. I'm just gonna do this because I think this is gonna put it below max HP or max 50%.
Here we go. Let's
Okay.
get down to work.
Yeah, below max health. That would be kind of crazy if another boss could do that to like, because I know bosses can heal, but what if it could heal above their max and make it crazy? Okay, that sounds horrible. Yeah, let's go ahead and use this divine skill. Yeah, so we're on yellow health now, so that wasn't that bad.
Unleash your wrath.
And so it's almost guaranteed that, yeah, so it's going to use this. Oh, it actually didn't use it right away, which is awesome. I'm almost certain it's going to use it next turn, though. So I think we got this, though, because I can use this. I'm going to do... Am I using... Okay, I'm using Ruinous Seed for Pomegranate. No, it's not weak to Pomegranate yet. Yeah, it's already on red health, actually. That's how strong that one move is. Toxic Rainbow. Here it is. But I think we're good, actually. That was opportune turn order. Because now I can use another one to break it, and we have enough SP. I think this is actually might be it. Like, this is going to be a super quick battle.
Here we go. Let's get down.
Rune Lord, Balgar's Blade, and I think this will kill.
Unleash your wrath.
Hope so, anyway. Yeah! There we go. That was fast. Fastest boss battle we've, I think, ever had, actually. Holy crap. We did it. And we got a jam. I can't actually believe that. That went smoother than any of my attempts. To be fair, I'm level 66 right now. Which is 20 levels above what you're normally supposed to do this at, so the damage output I'm doing is pretty insane. And I have Rune Lord, which I got with Alphin anyway, so whatever. I'm taking it. Taking my win. Oh, that sucks. At least we have it. I mean, it wasn't super eventful, so. I mean, it wasn't as interesting, I guess, as the other one was. But anyway, sorry, pal. I cannot believe that we have beat a boss with only 25 minutes-ish into the stream. But this pinion of yours is going to save a man's life. Are you sure he's still alive, Alfyn? I don't know. Alrighty, Yogan. Like it or not, here I come. Yeah. Honestly, I think the Toxic Cloud is a cool gimmick. Because it is a direct counter to like a pretty strong strategy. But I do think that overall the boss fight isn't as interesting as like Alphin's, like Miguel, Alphin's third boss fight with like the 10 turns is like, yeah, I think we picked a feather off the ground. Alphin just leaves and he's like, do you have the feather? He's like, wait, crap, I forgot to actually pick one up. I'm back, old man. It's only been it's like a month. Can you keep it down? My head's throbbing something terrible.
Sorry about that.
Whoops. Anyway, time to get to work.
You what?
You really believe you can save me? Ridiculous. How could you ever... A man saved my life years ago. A man not so different from you, to come to think of it. Oh, really?
Listen here, Ogun.
All right.
I may call you an old man, but it's too soon for you to go.
I call everyone an old man. Don't take it personally.
People are suffering out there, dying. There are plenty of lives you can still save.
Maybe you're right.
Oh.
I once met a man who said the kinds of things you say.
Oh, really?
He was an apothecary too. In my darkest hour, it was his words that stayed my hand. Despite having no hope, nothing to live for, he convinced me to press on.
Who was he? What the heck could he have said to a mess like you?
Come on, Alfyn. The man's dying. Have some class.
Ogun, look at your hands. Just 2, and yet they have the power to save innumerable lives. Live, Ogun. If not for yourself, for those who still need you.
This is some good guy
All
apothecary
around
to be
you,
helping out like everyone.
People are suffering, dying. There are plenty of lives you might yet save, if you have it in you to save them.
All right.
Why? Why are you helping me?
What's that? When someone's in a bind, you help them out. Simple as that, wouldn't you say?
What a good dude. I want to meet this good dude.
Those were his words to me. It's the damnedest thing, but somehow you remind me of
Oh,
him.
really? There isn't a chance that it may perhaps be the same man who convinced me to be an apothecary, is it?
Gadzooks.
There it is. There's your word for the stream. Gadzooks.
Those words. I heard them too, when I was just a boy.
You what?
There's no doubt about it. That's the man who saved my life. Thanks, mister. But why'd you save me? We ain't got no money, you know.
Listen, son, and listen well. I saw someone in a bind, and I helped him out. Simple as that.
Shucks. I hope I can do that too, son.
I think we actually have seen this cutscene before, which is kind of cool.
I'd never seen anyone like him before.
I also think that's like
His
our bro
words,
Zeph when he was
the
young.
miraculous potions he made. He didn't just save my life. He gave me a whole new sense of purpose. And so I became an apothecary.
Fate truly does work in mysterious ways.
Maybe you can help me.
Tell me more about him, Ogun. I don't even know his name. Graham was his name. Graham Crossford. Alright. We actually got a name out of this mysterious apothecary that's been helping us. It was 10 years ago that I met him. He was traveling the realm, as was I. He said he was searching for a remedy for his dear wife, who had been stricken with a deadly malady. His skill at mixing salves and brewing elixirs was like nothing I had ever seen. He traveled from town to town, healing the sick and wounded at every turn, and still managed to fashion the elixir he sought in 2 short years. But it was too late. His beloved had already passed on, never to return. He told me the story of a bright young boy to whom he eventually gave the medicine. Oh. To think I'd meet that boy in the flesh one day. So the medicine we got, because if you remember back forever ago when we first were doing this cutscene, like before we fought the boss, Graham had said, this medicine was meant for another, but if it saves someone's life, it's worth it. It's because it was supposed to be for his wife who died. After he saved my life, he wandered off again to who knows where. Word has it that he later passed on to meet his love. So, he's gone. At any rate, it all makes sense now. Graham didn't choose his patients. He helped everyone he could, just like you. We didn't always see eye to eye, but I respected the man, and I'd like to think the feeling was mutual.
I see.
Thinking back on it, talking with you was oddly familiar from the start. Your innocence, naivety, whatever you want to call it, it's like a mirror image of the man.
Oh.
You're carrying on his legacy as well as any man could. Even if you are a sentimental sop. That's fair. Alfyn sort of is. You know what? That's great. I love him for it. It takes one to know one, old man. They have sort of an... I kind of like their relationship, how it got written. It's good.
Thanks for everything.
Hey, look who it is.
Ogun, you sure you're okay?
Aye. Thanks to you, I'll live to see another day. For a couple nights there, I didn't think I'd make it. But it seems you're...
Those couple of nights I was probably on Thanksgiving break.
You'll forgive me if I don't say thank you. This wasn't the fate I asked for, after all.
Don't mention it.
That grave. Did you make that?
Just my way of paying tribute. Only wish I could have met him once more. Oh well, eh?
Knowing him, I think he would have felt the same about you.
Well, guess I'll be off then.
All right.
After all, there's still folks out there who need my help. What about you, old man?
What about me, indeed? Guess I'll keep on living, at least for now.
I guess.
And atone for my sins as best I can.
Since you revived me or whatever, I guess I'm just gonna have to live with
I
it.
imagine there's still people out there who need me as well. First Graham, now you. You helped me remember what it means to be an apothecary.
It means overhealing ridiculously.
Ah, shucks. Guess that means I was right about something after all. Be safe here. I reckon you won't get lost in your travels after this. And me neither, mind you.
All right. No more depressive episodes for Alphin.
If you say so.
It was an age when the medical arts were still in their infancy. With war and disease rampant, the sick and the suffering depended on men and women who brewed remedies with wisdom and compassion. Men and women known as apothecaries. And we're back in Clearbrook with our bro Zeph. And I'm assuming that's Nina right there too. Yeah, that's a cool ending. I like that. And I suppose that's sort of gonna be it with Alphin. We've had Alphin for longer than I think, like quite a long time now, considering. Actually, hold on. Oh yeah, this is our house. We actually have a house. Let's talk to Zeph. Hello. Actually, hold on. What? Dude, I'm gonna rob you real quick. Don't mind if I do. There's an accent here the whole time. How's it going? Mercedes. Excuse me, can I help you? What? Well, who's that? Hello, Nina. Excuse me. Can I ask you something? Yes. You see, my brother likes someone. They used to read books together a lot when they were young, but a few years ago, she moved far, far away. And it seems like my brother still can't forget her. Oh. Sometimes he even whispers her name. Mercedes, huh? Oh, well, there it is again, I guess. Well, where is this coming from? See? I don't know if he can concentrate on making medicine like that. He even tried writing her a letter about his feelings. But he hasn't sent it yet. So I was wondering if you could give it to her for him. I don't know where she lives, but... Could you do it for him, please? What? You want to know more about her? Well, I know she likes books. So begins the tale of Zeph and Mercedes 1. Yeah, so I actually don't know if we can complete this as just Alfyn. I do want to inquire with Nina, though. After the Great Pestilence claimed her parents at an early age, this young girl was raised by her elder brother Zeph, whom she loves and adores. She hopes that one day she can repay his kindness, for which she feels terribly indebted. Nice chatting with you. Alright. So this is actually interesting, right? Because, for one, it's soul-crushing that our bro isn't even thinking about us. Well, we've been gone forever. He's thinking about Mercedes. But if you have a really good memory, we've actually met someone named Mercedes who is into books, who in fact, some might say, works at a library. This is kind of cool because like stuff like this is where the stories of the different characters actually seem to cross a lot more. Because like the actual just chapters themselves are pretty self-contained. You don't get a lot of like cross between like Alphin and Cyrus and stuff. However, a lot of these side stories you actually do get to experience a lot of that. And I mean, I figure since we did finish the stream or the chapter pretty early, we can do some stuff like this, some side story stuff with Alphin first. Just, you know, to get some varieties in what we're doing. Also, I haven't talked to a lot of people here.
Greetings.
Ever since I read a book about knights, I've dreamt of becoming a noble knight squire. Cor, I love knights, don't you? Their fancy armor and jaunty plumes atop their heads. All I need to do now is find one in need of a squire. Okay. Should he follow in his footsteps, no one will ever know how instrumental he is to the success of others. Alright, I think that's important for something later. Also, hello. They say Russell turned himself into the guards and confessed. Oh yeah, Russell was forever ago. Hello? Modest man and purveyor to the royal family who takes great pride in his books. Whether his customer be commoner or king, he refuses to sell something unless he deems the buyer worthy of it. Alright, then. That's pretty cool. Anyway, let's go in here. And who might this be? Hello, how can I help you? If you want to borrow a book, you need to fill out the appropriate form. I'm currently reading the sequel to this one. See, this is what I was afraid of, is I don't actually think we can solve it because we can't, like, we don't have the letter. I won't say any names, but there's a very handsome professor working at this. Oh! He turns heads wherever he goes, but the librarian doesn't even bat an eyelash at him. Perhaps he's just not her type, but I've also heard rumors that she has her heart set on another. Well, I know who that is! It's my bro! What can I do? Hello? Though one might not expect the library staff to be more inclined to read tomes, this man has a talent for reading individuals and intuiting their myriad concerns. As such, the many who seek his counsel regarding personal matters generally leave feeling satisfied. At least so far as Mercedes can tell. Well, that sucks. Hello.
Greetings.
This tome, The Ancient Capitals, contains a record of the ancient city of Gold. Look, do you see? An entire city where everything is made of gold. I wish there were more details about it, but it's only the briefest mention. Oh, actually, we know about this, because I think we must have talked to someone about it somewhere. We must have gotten this information while we were either inquiring with Cyrus or Alfyn. But since this is something that we just asked someone about, we can actually solve this. That's cool. The Legends of the Gold City? This sounds promising. There was once a lord in a distant island nation far to the east, and one day he had a dream. A voice spoke to him and said, "I will grant you one wish." The lord thought it was the voice of a god, so the lord answered without thinking. "Make the city into a utopia where none go hungry, where no one ever grows old or ill." His wish was heard, and overnight the entire city was turned to gold. And in that city there were none who went hungry, no old age, and no illness. Oh. Well, do you hear that? Such a wondrous place. Though it still sounds more like fantasy than truth, it has the romantic appeal of a legend to be sure. Books are such a delight, aren't they? And this one's a prime example. I'll have to be sure to tell everyone to read it. Thank you for helping me learn more about the City of Gold. I feel so much better now for knowing more. Alright, that's great. What do we get? Ooh, 9,000 bucks and an alluring ribbon. What do you have to say? An avid reader who spends most of her waking hours in the Royal Library should rather read than eat, and once neglected to sleep for 3 days, too absorbed in a good book. She claims to have inherited her love of literature from her late mother. Well, that's okay. So real quick, just to be sure, I want to go back to Clearbrook in the Riverlands. And I want to talk to Zeph. How do I send the letter? See, I'm curious if I have to, like, I don't have it, right? Inventory. It would be in this. No. Original tome. Zeph's, we have Zeph's satchel. Apparently that's not good enough. Yeah, I don't think we can actually do this yet, which is too bad. But we do have I don't know. So, I don't know what to do. It's pretty hard to do a lot of these quests without everyone. So I think what I will do actually yeah, I think I might actually end the stream a little bit early today. Like, actually, this is pretty early. We've only been streaming for like 40 minutes. But before we do that, we do need to pick our next traveler. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up real quick. Let's see if it remembers all my options. It does. That's pretty impressive. I thought that would be reset by now. All right. So 1, 2. Yeah, there's 5 left. Are you watching this on mobile? All right. Let's see here. Yeah, let me swap over. Here we go. All right. Let's turn on a bit of music, I suppose. Hey, Alphin's theme. Let's go. Okay. So we have 5 options here. We got Tressa, the merchant, Alberic, the warrior, Primrose, the dancer, Therion, the thief, or Honnet, the hunter. Huntress, I guess. I kind of hope we get either the thief or the merchant, just because that'll give us a lot of good items to help out with the rest of this, but anyway, I guess we'll just have to see. Oh man, this is... Actually, I'm really interested in... Oh? Huh! Alberic. Alright. Well, how about that? That's not exactly what I was hoping for, but I mean, we're gonna have to do them eventually. Albrecht's actually really good. So Albrecht is the warrior. So we're actually gonna, I think, be able to finish off maybe the other two secret bosses with Albrecht, which will be cool. But now that we have that known, I actually want to go back to the game. And let's just start Albrecht real quick. Why not? We can at least get like the first cutscene down. Alright. So, Albrecht is here in Cobblestone in the Highlands. Let's just go say hello real quick. Oh, here he is right here. I'm actually gonna say real quick, just to cover my bases, since we haven't actually saved since we beat the boss. All right. Hello. Those brigands. Brigands? Brigands. What villains would take a defenseless child as a hostage? Oh. Well, how long have you been standing here waiting for someone to help? Hold fast, Philip. I'm coming for you. His name is Ulbrich, and he is a warrior. Here in Cobblestone, a remote village in the Highlands, he hires out his sword under the assumed name of Berg. Once a great knight, he lost both land and liege, as well as his reason for wielding a sword. Yet one fateful day, bandits raid the village he now calls home, stealing off with his protege, the young Philip. Albrecht takes sword in hand and sets off after the brigands. He will need worthy allies on the path he has chosen. Take Albrecht along? Yes. And yes, let's hear the beginning of this tale, shall we? Eight years ago.
Hells! Is he man or beast?
All right.
He's but one, yet fights like a score.
I mean, maybe if you didn't run up to me individually and try to attack, that would help.
God's have mercy. That's the unbending blade of Hornburg.
Also, Hornburg, if you remember that from Cyrus's story, bonus points.
Ulbrich Eisenberg.
All right.
You know my name. And so to business. Who will be the next to die?
Okay, Albrecht, calm down.
It's you who'll be dying. Look about you. We have the numbers. Enemy reinforcements on the left flank. To Sir Ulbricht's side, men. The blackguards have had their way for long enough.
Yeah.
It matters not. We're done here. Sound the retreat. Withdraw to the rallying point.
I mean, I like how we're just sort of letting this happen, but sure, whatever.
Sir Ulbrich, I feared we would be too late.
Nothing I couldn't handle. Can you hold this position?
You make for His Majesty's camp, sir?
Just so. Our foe attacked from both flanks. We have no orders from the crown. This concerns me.
His Majesty is well guarded, sir.
Sir Erhard is with him. I know this.
There is no stronger knight in the realm. Other than yourself, of course, my lord.
Why, thank you.
With Sir Erhard at his side, surely His Majesty is in no danger.
I'm sure everything's fine.
Perhaps
There's no way Erhard got
you must
hurt or
serve.
something.
I would know how the battle unfolds. Besides, word from the king always lifts the men's spirits.
As you wish, sir. We will hold this ground.
Be safe, and may the
Be,
gods guide your
be
plans.
safe, you say.
And yours, Sir
There's
Ulbrich.
literally war going on. Well, that didn't last very long.
His Majesty's own guard, slain to the last man. Who could have done such a thing? Erhardt. Where is Erhardt?
That is the question, is it not?
So, it was you.
My liege. Erhardt, what is the meaning of this?
Oh, I forgot that this happens like that.
What have you done?
We literally just witnessed murder, by the way. Just throwing that out there. And not just of anyone. Dude, he is.
Have you not eyes? The king is dead by my hand.
I do have eyes. I saw that. In fact, I have glasses.
Madness. What treachery is this?
No madness here. We call it treachery, if you will.
I thought you a friend. A brother. Ah!
Brothers indeed. How many times did we cross swords like this in the practice yards? And how many times have I told you? I see your every move, your every strike before it falls.
As I see yours.
Ah, but you've not seen everything. I saved one trick for the day I knew would come.
Well, that's one way to start.
Always the same dream. Ah, Philip. What is it?
Crivens! How did you know it was me, sir?
One must always be on his guard, even when he rests. Yes, a knight. No, I am no knight. Just a man with a sword.
Definitely not a knight. 100% never have been a knight. Don't worry about it.
If you say so, sir. But there's lots of men what carry swords that can't do half of what you do. Oh, I almost forgot, sir. The headman's looking for you. Says he wants a word. He didn't say about what.
Tell him I'm on my way.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'll go on ahead and let him know, sir. He'll be in the square. You know the one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this town has one square. If that.
How many years has it been since Hornburg fell? My liege lost. My land in ruin. I wandered aimlessly.
Indeed you did.
After a time, I came to this village. Here, I earn my keep as a hired sword, hiding behind another man's name.
I mean, why are you thinking this?
Defending
Surely you know
villages
this
from
already.
bandit raids, teaching young men how to handle a blade. Not a glamorous life, but it puts food on my plate. A man like me knows only the battlefield, worth only as much as the blade at my side and the arm that swings it. When that blade fails to save my sworn liege, what does that make me? For years, I've asked myself that question. No answer still. At least.
Well, we went from the how can I call myself an apothecary if I can't save everyone to how can I call myself a warrior if I can't save everyone?
One thing I
All
do
these
know is that I owe this
sad
village
and brooding men.
a debt I intend to repay. But that's enough brooding for one morning. The headman's waiting.
Well,
Berg, sir.
Yes, Berg, that is me.
Ho there.
Dawn Patrol, sir. Nothing to report.
I see.
Good to hear it. Two of you today. Usually only one man does the rounds.
Yes.
Aye, sir. Headman thought it best. There's Brigand. I need to learn how to say this by the time I come back. Brigands in the hills of late. Poor merchant gutted for his coin purse just yesterday. Oh, jeez. Was a grisly sight, sir.
Indeed.
These are dangerous times. One can never be too careful. I hear the headman is looking for me.
Just so.
He mentioned that, sir. He should still be over in the square. Now, if you'll excuse us, sir. Morning patrol, resume rounds. It's like 2 dudes. Hello. And there's probably like 5 houses. Surely you could just yell to the air and everyone would know. Speak with the headman. All right. We will definitely do that. But I think we're gonna hold off and do it. Well, actually, I don't know. Can I save before this? Yeah, I can. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that next time. Huh. 81 hours and level 1. Back to square one as always. But hey, we've got 3 whole stories under our belt, which is pretty dang cool. So, all right. Now, give me just a minute. I'll swap us over. Hello. All right. So I know that was a much shorter stream than normal. Normally I stream about an hour and a half or more, but I do kind of want to keep the chapters separate, like I sort of have been, at least partially, just because of the way that it helps me organize like the videos and stuff. So we will do most of Albric's. Well, maybe we might be able to finish Albric's chapter 1 next stream. So I do plan on streaming on Tuesday and Thursday actually. So we have most of, like, we have at least 2 streams to look forward to with Ulbrich, but after that it's going to be a little bit more hazy, so we'll get to the schedule when we get closer to that. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. So, bye-bye.